Hey, everyone. It is the Let's Get Loud podcast with J and A. Oh, I'm the
Hello.
J. J and
Hey,
A. Hi, everyone. Oh, my goodness, Alicia. Have you seen the big ball of fire outside?
crazy, eh?
Yeah, it was a long 4 or 5 days like that weekend. I was like, oh, fancy kick shows.
I mean, I feel like the entire month of like May was
Yeah,
not
May
nice.
was pretty shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I mean,
did
we're
not have a
ending
nice
strong,
spring.
but it wasn't. And I feel like we have this conversation every year, like, because it's Jeff's birthday. And also, I always remember that it's shitty weather. And also, Mother's Day is always shitty weather. Like, and then the Father's Day, they always get really nice weather.
Gorgeous
Maybe we
weather.
should switch that up. Like, switch it up. It's like every year, which ones, you know what I mean? So that we get different weathers for
Right,
our day.
right. Great plan.
Great, great plan. Let's make it happen. I mean, they haven't been able to just stop time change. They keep talking about it, but like, who's in charge? Na ba vre-
That is a really good question.
Like, who makes this final? Like, who is that human?
That is a Jeff Cormier question for
I mean,
sure.
he is close by. Jeff, who would make the final decision on let's stop time change? He said, not me. I don't know. Like, who is that human that can has that power?
I
Uh,
feel like it's got to be more than one
yeah, it's
human.
probably like some sort of committee.
There's a board.
There's a board and like no one does anything. It's like a board of volunteers. They're all very old.
But
I,
there's like places in the world that don't do time change too,
yes, of
right?
course. And I
Like
think we're
it's
all like, oh, that seems like a good idea, but we do, but no one's like, I will be the decision maker. It is over. Huh? I'll take that
It's the
job.
worst. And then you're trying to like think of time zones. Like Neil's like, how far ahead am I than my parents? And then it's like, then it changes when you just figured it out. It's like, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what else is a lot? Driving around New Brunswick.
Okay, we were just catching up
Okay.
on
Yes.
Jose's conference. That video picture that I saw, was that just yesterday?
That was yesterday. Yeah.
You literally drove
Yeah.
full
Around New
circle around
Brunswick.
the
Yeah.
province.
Yes. Because I was talking to someone at the conference in Bathurst, and she's like, you literally did the whole province. And I was like, you're right. And when I put it in my GPS of like, I went here and then I did that and then I did that, I was like, I did the whole circle. And Jeff was like, you only missed St. John. You could have gone a little lower. But yeah, yeah, it was 10 hours of driving yesterday. Like
Wow.
I woke up at 5 and I got home at 10. So that was a 17-hour thing.
So worth it to sleep in your own bed.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Now, and Alicia asked me before we started, like, are you tired? And I think that that is the secret. As much as it might not be like time smart, as in like efficient, to go like, I was just in kind of that area and then I'm going again tomorrow. It is less tiring than doing 3 nights away and like bang, bang, bang. I don't know. There's something about it, or at least I'm not as like tired of it, which is good. And I get to come and like, I don't know, do work, like almost like get caught up. And then, oh, I'm ready to do something again tomorrow. If not, you're like gone 3 days. And then it's like you get home and there's a lot to get caught up on. So just even like my Monday, I was like, okay, sit and do like your invoices and like all those things that I was like, okay, like I'm kind of like all over the place. And I'm like, okay, like I'm all caught up. I can go again now on the road. So no, I did the whole thing. I really felt like it was me, the moose, and transport trucks just on the road.
Okay.
This is it. This is
Okay.
all I saw. Three moose,
You did?
three, yeah, three moose, and they were so four in total so far in all of my travels. Uh,
Okay.
One was like behind that fence, just like standing, just like wish I could go. But then yesterday I saw three, and they were on the side of the road eating.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were eating.
Okay.
They were just like kind of like, and that one I saw from afar, like I was like, oh, that is something. And then I was just like kind of went on the other side, like kind of slowing down, like, and he was just doing his thing. Multiple deer, that for sure, like probably 10 deer. But they were just like eating and doing their thing. And some of them were close, but then the minute they're like, know what I mean? But it was interesting. I was like, okay, I see what they're saying. That
Yes.
exists, and
It's a thing.
it's a thing. So it actually, yeah.
It's
So
so nice that it's light for so long now, too, eh? Like,
yes. Because even last night, the 50 minutes I got in the dark was the longest 50 minutes. out of the 4 hours. I was like, oh my God, just get home. Plus, it's the last 15 minutes, but I've been noticing like my 4.5 hour drive at 5 a.m. went by so good, so fast.
Yeah.
And then my 3 hour drive, it's just not as tiring, but at night, and then plus there's a million bugs. Like I can even see on my windshield. C'était tellement sale.
I thought of you last night because I was sitting downstairs and I could hear the June bugs hitting my windows. It was like tick, 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 tick. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Mm. So I didn't hear hitting June bugs last night. However, I think a couple I was like, well, that's definitely a June bug because like that was like loud. But during the day, there was like tick, 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 tick. And I'm like, is it raining? Like, what is that? And I'm like, oh no, it's just all the bugs. Anyway, you should have seen my car. I took a picture. I was like, oh wow, because I didn't look at my car. I don't like, you know how I am. I just like don't even know what's happening. And then Jeff was like, wow, did you see the front of your vehicle? And I was like, I did not. He's like, and then I'm like, are you happy I'm back? He's like, so happy to clean your car. So happy. And then he can't
Is he
even
gonna
stand
clean
it.
it
He
before you
already did
leave
it.
tomorrow?
Yeah, he did it all already.
Jeff, calm down.
Did it all already. He cleaned it all. Just like couldn't even
Wow.
handle it. But then even like driving from the gas station to my house with the new window, I was like, okay, I see very clearly.
It's like when someone cleans your camera on your phone, you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh,
oh,
wow. Oh, it's a very what is it, a 4D or whatever. Anyways, yeah. So I did go around the province yesterday. Tomorrow's just like straight Tracadie and coming back. But I do have like three things back, back, back. So it'll be like just chunked. But yesterday was the longest day out of all of my travel days, and it still went well. Like I'm happy I'm sleeping in my bed, like you said. And I taught spin this morning, so but I arrived at 10, which is what the hour I would have went to bed if I was here all day.
yeah, yeah.
I was happy to get back on the bike and see the people. But it's been good. It's been very interesting and ultimately special. Like very obviously you meet so many people and no, it's been good.
Impactful.
Yeah, I do feel so. Like I do obviously you feel the energy and I always say that to them. Like I'm like I this is a lot of not effort, but it is a lot of energy to be coming to you and to give this message when we could all be doing this. But like
Yeah,
I feel like there's distractions when we do that and it's not as impactful and it's not as real. And it's so about like taking the time to be present. And so you're not like you're just not because you're in a space that also requires you to have responsibilities. Like if you're in your home, Vivipo, you're like you have all those hats that you wear in your home, but when you're outside of your home, it's like, oh, I'm just here for this.
it's true.
It's very interesting. Like the dynamic and the energy is different than online. And I get to be like myself and I get to not worry about the whole like it's just they're there.
I
Story
see, like worried about it being like recorded,
Yeah, not recorded. No, no. Just it's more special and more like it's just us,
intimate.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. And they're not on their phone and just all of that. So I really enjoy the human connection aspect of it. But of course it's more time and more
I
work.
mean, that's one of your love languages. It's
Yeah,
human
like
connection,
humans.
like
Yeah, humans
in
they
person human connection.
yeah, yeah. And then
Um,
and so I really like it. Yeah.
okay, tell us about like a few of the like
Yes.
takeaways,
Yeah.
highlights. Were there lessons that we need to discuss?
Yes, yes. So it's been very just wild and so refreshing and so just so good. Um, I think that one conversation that our listeners would love is the conversation that I've had with, so I did two of the conferences were at school. I have one again tomorrow at a school. And tomorrow's different, so I need to like build that presentation today. But they wanted the aspect of also what is it like to be an influencer, which is interesting. So I that'll be interesting. I'm not even sure yet what I'm gonna say according to that. But the other ones were about self-confidence, living a vibrant life, happiness, authenticity, vulnerability, all those things that I love. And that was interesting. So the first one was grades 5 to 8, which is not my favorite and not my strength. Like, and I feel like you would feel the same because like we used to teach high school, used to teach grade 12.
Yeah, but I feel like you're like limiting yourself when you say those things. Like I feel like maybe it's not your like preference, but I don't think it's not your strength either. Like
Okay,
you
I
I
see.
really feel like you're very similar to Neil. Like you have the ability to connect with humans. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
even
see.
matter their age. Like literally 2
Okay.
to 102, you connect with humans.
Okay, I see what you, yeah, and I will agree with what you're saying. I think what's happening is the energy inside. I feel different than when a bunch of teenagers arrive. When a bunch
Yeah.
of teenagers arrive, I actually feel more alive. I'm like, oh, I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When adults arrive, when women arrive, I'm like, oh, ooh, women, ooh. You know what I mean? So they were walking in and like to calm my nerves, I was like, they're just all Dias. Like they're all like Dia. And obviously I love Dia. So I'm like, they're all nice. It's all okay. Like they're just their body language is different and it's like they're other people's children. And I want to make sure that what I say is universal and not controversial. And there's like so much of that I needed to like be careful with.
It's definitely more like I definitely
See what I
like
mean?
they're very like vulnerable, they're very impressionable. Like
Yeah, influenceable.
yeah.
So I felt like that age, and I had had conversations with Dia and her friend while we were driving to Moncton. I'm like, okay, so I will be talking to people your age about self-confidence and self-love, and so I'm like, can you tell me a bit about your perspective on self-love and whatever? And I feel like honestly, as we get older, we get more and more fucked up when it comes to confidence and self-love and happiness. Like it just like kind of like there's more insecurities and that come with getting older than like Dia's age. Like Dia's just like full of love for herself and like whatever. And like her friends as well. Like she was like, oh yeah, like no, the conversations between our friends. And I think like grade 6 would be different. Grade 7 would be different. Grade 8 would be different. And so that's where I'm like, I had the conversation with them about it, but I wasn't sure if it was like the right time, but it's never too early. Like it's always a good positive conversation. And that's what the teacher, I was like, was it okay? And I had so many nice messages from the teachers that were in the room, right? Because they're also teachers are there. And they were like, no, they need to hear this. Like, it's a conversation that we don't bring to the table every day. So it's good. They need this. But it's when you see high schoolers, they were both groups were very quiet, very respectful, very much like in it. And it's still like an hour. Like that's long, like for them. So at the end, I did a little activity and I showed a picture, and that picture really made me smile because, like, just the energy when you ask them what lights them up. Oh, they want to talk about that. And humans love talking about what lights them up. Like, we love that. You know what I mean? So it was just fun. Like, they're standing on their chair and they're like, pick me. And I'm like, oh my God, like that energy I loved. So that was really fun. But would I be like going out of my way to have more of that age group to talk to? Not necessarily. Like I wouldn't say no because I feel like I need to grow the experience. It was really 1, 2, 3, go. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Go for an hour. And if you feel like the energy is shit, don't do it again. And like, you know what I mean? I don't think I ever do something that people are like, oh, that was bad. I don't think that ever happens. It's more on my end. How did I feel when I was talking?
And
How,
you also
yeah,
want to conserve your energy. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
like you know, and you want to spend your energy where it feels it's giving back to you at
Yeah,
the end of the
exactly. Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just feel like that age again, like everyone's so, I don't know, and I just like come from a place, such a place of like privilege where I grew up with like so much love and so much like abundance and so much, and these kids, like some of them could be really going through something that I've never gone through as an adult or as a child. And like I'm here all bubbly. Like sometimes I just feel bad, so like it's just that part. You know what I mean? So, but then I'm like, but they have their whole lives in front of them and they can change whatever, you know what I mean? Like they're not their environment, they can really thrive later and they can really like be. So, anyways, it's just I guess it was just a new audience. So it's like I know I love to talk about the thing, but the environment is different. So that kind of it's like anything else, right? We're not just one thing. You can hate something or hate, not like it, but then if the environment changes, you like it. So it's like very interesting how my energy is different. So then I could feel it right away. The next day I go to Truro and it's high schoolers and like just the difference that I felt in my own heart and spirit. I was like, oh, well, this is more my people. Know what I mean? And then if we go a little bit more specific, women, like girls, like the girls were just
Yeah.
so in it.
I mean, what was the topic? The same topic
So
as
we had,
girls?
yes, I did switch it up. The conversations were different, of course. Spoke more about me as a like their age. Whereas like for the young ones, like I just randomly found a picture of me in grade seven, which was perfect. So they could see it and I could be like, like I was once your age and it made them laugh and like whatever. And it was like, and I just remembered when I found that picture that I had tried for class president and I had lost. And like at that time, that was like very devastating, but like I had forgotten that that had happened,
That's
So it was just
crazy.
like it was like connecting to them and like kind of like a little bit of that. And then there was like the picture of me in grade 11 and then Jeff is beside me and I'm like I married that guy. Like he's my husband. Isn't that interesting? Like so it just like quickly, but it was just like, oh, this is me in grade 11 and I was about your age and this is what was up and like whatever and the things that I was doing at that time and I just felt like that was like a way to connect with them that I was their age at one point. But yeah, I could tell like girls even more are more my thing. Like boys were like they were very respectful, but like picking at each other. Like they just like can't stop it. They can't handle it.
I I
They
know. I
just
know.
like couldn't stop picking at each other. And I was like,
Oh,
God. And it was like an hour. Like it's not even a long time, but like it's just they have so much energy. But at the end, when I asked what lights you up, let's talk about it. Let's like, put it out there. And the teachers were like, they're not going to participate. Like they barely participate. It was a very small group. There was 50 kids from grades 9 to 12.
oh, manja.
Yeah, it's a very, very
Is
small.
this in Truro?
Yes, it's
Oh,
the
is it the French school in
yeah,
Truro?
yeah. So, oh my God, just to show you how, like, yeah, not really meant for the small kids era. I drove in and there were little kids in the playground. I'm like, why are there little kids here? Isn't it high school? So I text Andre Cleo and I'm like, pardon me? Like, I thought I was talking to high schoolers. She's like, oh, they exist as well. They're just like eating right now. Like, it's a switch. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Oh my God. So I'm like, I really was like, no, I want high schoolers. Like, I don't want that again. Like, just that energy is different. Anyway. So, yeah, I had like seven people, like seven kids be like, and they shared all different things like mountain biking and one was horseback riding and singing. And it was just like, oh, I loved it. I love that they could pinpoint something that really lights them up. That wasn't a responsibility. It's something that they really feel aligned doing, and it really is something that they like. So that they and everyone loves to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like it's like some people will share, and I'm sure a lot of them thought of it and didn't raise their hand, but the fact that they shared was really cool. So, yeah. And then I decided for high school to talk a little bit about social media to be more of a creator instead of a consumer, and to put your phone away and go live your life, like go live a little bit, go look at humans in their eyes and go create a life that you love instead of watching other people do their thing, like to spend more time with human connection. And that we all need to work on this. Like I was like, it's not just your generation. You might hear your parents be like, oh, the kids these days. I'm like, we are all addicted to a certain level and we all need to work on reconnecting with humans and kind of like trying to disconnect because we all go back to this, like it's like a coping thing. So that was interesting and the teachers pointed that out, that was good. They enjoyed that I brought that conversation, but I didn't do that for the middle schoolers,
right.
which I could have, but I
You
just felt
could
like
have.
we needed to move on. Yeah, but for sure I could have. Yeah. Yeah, so that was very interesting. I think I would love to do more, but I would like stick to high school. And if ever, I would love to be able to kind of do one where it's just the girls from grades 9 to 12. I think that
Yeah.
I could even go deeper. I could
Yeah.
you know,
And I
yeah.
bet you the girls would be probably more willing to share on a deeper level without
If
the
the
boys
guys weren't
around.
there. Yeah. And I think we could do activities where they could like a grade 12er could connect to a grade 9er and
Hmm.
kind of like create like kind of sisterhood. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, within a community or a school, I think that could be special as well. Anyways, that would be something I would be really into. It's just like women. Like it's just like there's something about like let's like have our backs. Let's like work on being better in that sense. But yeah. Um, so that was cool. Really enjoyed that. And then I had a couple conferences that were more like organizations where I talk about like wellness. Really enjoy
Okay.
that conference as well. That one's cool. It's really about like I try to get them to work on mindfulness and just like it's the same. We talk about what lights them up. We talk about their resources to use them. And they seem to really enjoy. It's kind of crazy how they all depending on where they're coming from because some people when you think about it, some people they buy a ticket to come listen to me. So they know like they want it. They
Yeah.
want that conversation.
Yeah.
Others it's like my boss hired you.
Yeah.
Here I am for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not the same openness or, like maybe you're
Yeah.
not at all in a place where you have any interest in mindfulness or
Yeah.
in your life. So, but I think that the passion and energy I bring in the room at least is fun. So I really keep their energy alive and like their attention. I'm like,
Yes.
my whole goal is to not be boring. If I'm not boring,
Yeah.
they'll listen and then maybe something will click or something will
Yeah.
interest them. So that has been really good feedback and I really enjoy that one. And I think that even if it's not related at all to their work, because some of them I don't even know what they do. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm here. Like I don't even know what you do. Who are you?
What
Who
does that
is your
mean?
employer? Who employs you? Like who is the
How
girl
did
that,
you get here?
yeah. But they do enjoy that conversation because it's about them,
Yeah.
right? I don't try to pretend that I know what it's like to do their work
Yeah.
or to work with their colleague.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's all do individual self-discovery here and let's learn a little bit more about ourselves so that we can be better humans within this space, but also in our four walls at home and,
Yeah.
so that has been really good. Um, and then of course La Femme qui s'aime, I just feel like the more I do it, the more I have a real good program, like a
Hmm.
good flow. Because when I decided to do it, like one, two, three, go, and not really sure where I was going with it or what I really wanted to help them with, but I knew I had a lot to say. So now it's more like, okay, yes, this is the goal, this is what we're doing, and this is how we do it. And it was like it's very straightforward. I struggle with finishing at 90 minutes, to be honest.
We are shocked,
Yeah,
Jose.
I hit the 100 minutes often. I'm like, okay,
We
just like wrapping it up, everyone. I get all like excited and I just like obviously tell too many stories. But I think that that's the part that keeps them engaged is that it really is a journey that I went through. So it's like, there's tons of examples of like how I want to live without any guilt and to really fully live without guilt. It's like you can fully live, but you can feel shit about it. So we don't want to
hmm
feel like shit about it. We want to feel
Yeah.
good about it. Like, so that's the emotion that I'd love to help all women get better at because I think that a lot of people know that they're important and that they should be spending more time doing what lights them up. They know that. Some don't know how, but also just the practice, the communication, how to bring that into your home, the energy that you have behind the reason you're doing what you're doing. And then just recognizing that it exists to do this without guilt. Like that exists, that you do it very happily and your family doesn't make you feel like shit about it. Like that exists, but it's like a lot of talking, a lot of reminders, a
And
lot
it
of
doesn't happen
having your back.
overnight. Like
Huh?
it doesn't happen overnight. It's like it's something that if you're going to work towards, it's like a
Like
journey and you
anything
have to
else,
like
yeah.
and you have to stay connected and there might be times where you have to remind them of, "Oh, remember?
Remember,
Do
un
that."
proposó, right? And I was like, I said this last night, and they laughed. I was like, oh, yeah, like there will be times you either say to your spouse or your kids, like, oh, we don't do that anymore because I love myself now and I do this. And they laughed. And I was like, oh, c'est une boule. But at first it's like it's even like an awkward conversation to talk about love that way. And I'm like, because it is all La Femme qui s'aime, it's all about self-love and really getting to that core of self-love where you are so important in your life that you will not accept to be not unhappy. Like you will
It's a
not accept.
standard. It's a
Yeah, it's a standard. Like
standard.
I can't accept this. This is unacceptable that I'm unhappy. Like no, I need to like talk it out. Like it's not about like putting your life on fire. No, it's about like just conversations. Like where can we start? But yeah, no, it is about like that continuous because it's a relationship you're building with your kids and with yourself. So you have to continuously talk about it and communicate it. And I just had a moment the other day on Monday night where Dia, like it was sincere, which she's always been so sincere, but like it was just a moment where I was like, oh, Like I've made it to that point where she's like leaving with her bike and I'm going to spin. She's like, okay, bye, see you later, have fun. And it's like, for real, have fun. Like it's a real have fun. You know what I mean? Not just like a have fun because I've been taught to say have fun. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like a real
Yeah.
sincere have fun. Like I'm happy for you. I'm happy for me. Everyone's good. And I was like, oh man, like that was a lot of work, especially her. It was a lot of
It,
work for her.
I think that's important too for people to recognize because maybe people see where you are right now,
Right.
and they see your ability to leave
Yeah.
your children and
Yeah.
do things that fill your bucket without guilt.
Yeah.
But they need to realize that like that required conversations. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
also
And
remember
reminders. Yeah.
when Noah was really little, you had to like peel him off of you
Yeah. Like he
to
would
go
cry
to spin,
and he would
remember?
go, yes, yes. And I would cry to whatever activity I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's that inner perspective. It's a perspective. Like, should I feel guilty about this or should I not? It's literally like, I'm going to go here. And it's literally like, I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing nothing wrong. He's safe. He is loved. Like, you have to literally talk to yourself first and be like, really convince yourself that you are doing nothing wrong. And after a while, because you aren't, and after a while, it just becomes the automation of how you speak to yourself and about that activity. And also they get older and better and and okay, so talking about that, like older and better, that the generation thing, I feel like, or the season of our lives, that has come up, and that is very an important conversation about like the season of your life and knowing that the season of life that we are in, Alicia, they like take so much of our time and energy, and we are still very much needed in their life. Like we're very much a big part of it, which is super special. And it's not the same. It's not to say every season's the same. You can do the same thing in every season. Pas to it. Like I have more responsibilities than my mom. Like I am
Yeah.
more needed at home than my mom is for me. Like although I need her, but you get what I mean. I need her never done.
But and even like thinking back to when 10 years ago, when
Yeah,
we like where we were at in motherhood 10 years ago, like that
even
was a
more.
completely different season.
Yeah,
And the needing was different and the worrying was different, but it's
yeah, but still
there. But it's
there.
like acknowledging the season you're in,
Yeah.
and not expecting it to be the same. But at the end of the day, still maintaining that standard.
Yeah, still really just being like, you know what? Like, I am still important and I understand. So, I was talking to two moms. One is in a different season where she's retiring next year. Her kids are grown, and this one's like in the trenches, like you and I, like kind of like, oh my God, like it's all about what they're doing. And like a lot of it's the minutes, it's the time because no one has time, or no one feels like they have time. We do, but it's just we fill it up and, and it fills up quickly if you don't grab your time like it does. It fills up so quick. Because everyone's like kind of battling the resource of time within the family household. Like it just is like everyone's like kind of just like, okay, there's this 24 hours and I want to do shit. And
And you can't make more of it. Do you know what I
no,
mean? Like
exactly.
money,
Yeah, money.
like
Yeah.
you can make more money, but you
Yeah.
cannot make more time. So
Time.
that's it is the most precious resource.
Yeah. So I was talking to these two, and she was like, I'm just in a different season because we had talked about seasons. So the girl that's retiring, she's like, I'm just in a different season. And ultimately, like everything that lights me up, and she had made her list. She's like, I'm already doing. So when I retire, I'm going to do more and I might like learn more things that I like and whatever. So she's like willing to fill her time. Like she knows how to fill her time. And she said, like, I was always good, like even as my kids were growing, like to do things that light me up, but now I'm gonna have more time. Again, like I'm less needed by them, like the resource of time is kind of like more and more than now that they're growing up. Or they're gone. And then the other girl she was really struggling to make a list of what she would do if she wasn't a mom or if she wasn't working. Like she was like, oh my God, I don't even know. And I was like, it's not bad. Like it's totally fine. Like it's just a reflection. It's just something to think about to say, oh, that's interesting because that would mean that I'm doing nothing at this very moment that is not a responsibility. And it's actually something I like. If you had that already in your life, it would be the first thing you would write. You would continue it if your kids were not there or if you weren't, because you were already doing it and you like it. So it's just like a reflection. But and it's not like, oh, it's bad that you do everything for your kids. Not at all. Like if that is like, do your thing. But what is important is not to say, oh, it's just the season I'm in. So I'm gonna have to like not suffer, but like it is what it is. And next season I'll have more time. I just feel like that's just you've convinced yourself that there is a next season. You don't know if there's a next season. For me, it's like this season is also important. So if you do want to do things that light you up and you want to live fully, whatever that means to you, it's time today. Like today you're alive. So apparently today's the day, you know? So it's just to not kind of like think that there's a whole season of your life that's like less important. Like I'm only 38 once, I'm only 39 once. Like we're only this season once. So we're not going to get this back. And yes, this season means that we're very much like spreading our time, but it is still like we still can also be a part of the time taking, you know, if we want to. So that was interesting. She's like, okay, I really need to reflect on that. But it's quite funny how they write things that light them up that they haven't done in years, but it's something that like they have access to like tomorrow. Like it's not this like big grand gesture thing that you need to plan for years. Like I'd like to go to the gym, go tomorrow. Like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like go tomorrow, figure out a time. I said
Yeah.
tomorrow is Sunday, just go. Like you tell the other human and then it could be like 15 minutes. It doesn't even have to be long.
Uh, Big time.
Yeah, you just get out of the house and like make that effort.
Yep.
And she was like, okay. And that seemed like a big deal. And I was like, like when you look at it in a very rational way, like it's actually very accessible to you and it's right there, you know? Don't wait next season to go to the gym. If that really lights you up, like I think you should go tomorrow, you know?
I mean, it's the same thing with weight loss too, right? We see it all the
Mhm.
time. We see people just kind of like, well, it'll be easier when the kids are older. It'll be easier in September. It'll be easier in January. It'll be easier. And we have this like rose-tinted glasses of like it's going to be easier to prioritize X when Y is different.
Yeah.
But that is just so not productive and you're actually never going to get there because there's always Y.
Yeah.
There's
And like,
always something.
yeah, there's always something. There's always something to fill your time with. Like there will always,
100%.
you will find it. You will
100%.
take that path of whatever you could choose that is not the thing you thought that you were gonna. And we saw it in the pandemic. People were like, oh my God, I don't have time to do this. I'm so social. All of a sudden, you're not social, yet you still didn't have time to prioritize your health and whatever. Like we saw it. So that's not the real issue. It's that it's your perspective of the time that you have. And I think that again, like we all have different responsibilities in the 24 hours that we have. Like, so
Big
we can't
time.
say it's the same 24 hours. Oh,
Nope.
that is what we have. We have 24 hours. You could have, it doesn't matter what your race is or your financial status. We all have 24 hours in a day. Like that is what we have. However, we have different resources for our 24 hours. But
Big
it's how
time.
can we, and I think we should learn about that, about just living life. How can we just be good at what we have? How can we, you know what I mean, with what we have
It's
individually?
the way of thinking. It's
Yeah.
thinking of, okay, these are my resources. This is
Yeah.
my
My life.
environment.
It's also my life. Like how
My
can,
life, how can I make the most of what I do have? It's a mindset shift. It
yeah.
has nothing to do with what you have or don't have.
Yeah.
It is
No, for
a
sure.
mindset shift.
Yeah, it is the thing that really connects us is like that we all have that 24 hours, but we all have different resources. But if we all come into the picture or come into our life with like, this is what I have access to, this is what I have, how can I make the best of it, each and everyone, and then that'll look different. And if we can come in with like kind of like an attitude of like happiness and joy towards that, like I have these things, I think that is like happiness, like the true happiness is being happy with what you have and knowing what you have and using it, you know? And not living in a state of like, I don't have that, but you do have this, and this is what we could work with, you know? So it's obviously, I love this conversation. And I think that it just has allowed me to meet so many, you know, some of our members and some people that, you know, they don't see us often. So they enjoy that for sure. But I love human eyes and human connection and hugs and looking at them and smelling them and I love they're like really a part of my journey because I'm on this journey of like, you know, just all the things that I'm working on to improve my relationship with myself. And it's just like they are a part of that because as I travel and I have 7 million hours alone, I get to really create a good relationship with myself because I can only talk to myself. I can only like really think of myself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not distracting myself with a human or a phone or a, you
Hmm.
know, like it's just
Yeah.
me. This is it. And I get to choose if I want to go deep and like kind of learn and be like, oh, I should listen to that. That'll help me like reflect. Because there are so many things, and I'll say this because I said this last night. there is a side of the internet that has figured it out. There's a side of the internet that has like awaken to the fact that we have one life, we got this, we can, you can really create joy for yourself, whatever. There's a side of the internet that's very positive and very much that is the message there. And sometimes we just don't see it a lot. So I feel like it's important to recognize that that also exists and there's tons of content and conversations happening around the world around
Absolutely.
around this.
Absolutely.
So like keep the conversation alive. I always say that. Like I'm here for 90 minutes and then I'm gone and you go back to your life and then you're back in charge, though,
Yep.
So you have to keep the conversation alive up
Big
here.
time.
That we say that about your health and your happiness and
Anything you're trying to be intentional with making change. You have
yes,
to,
yes.
anything.
Anything you have to, it's a practice. You have
Yeah.
to be intentional. And you have to be like,
And
you have to grab, and I say this, you have to grab opportunities to be like, oh, this is what she was talking. Because I'm like, tomorrow morning, you're going to go to work and you're going to take the same schman, you're going to do the same things, but you have to be so awake and like kind of mindful to be like, oh, this is an opportunity right now for me to have a conversation with my husband about this thing because this just happened and it doesn't feel aligned. There's an internal conflict right now. So you have, and it won't be every day. It might not be every day. But there are moments where it's like, oh, guilt. Oh, you're trying to make me feel guilty. I see it now. Know what I mean? Because
mm-hmm.
that is one of the conversations I have. Be careful of people that surround you that use guilt as a tool to get
Mm,
to do what they want you to do.
to manipulate your behavior.
And I said, most often it is the closest people to us that use guilt. They know us. They know how to do that to us. And so it is to say, oh, no, on fait pas ça. Like, so I am
Yep.
protecting my happiness. I'm protecting
Yep.
myself right now. Know what I mean?
Yep.
As
Yep.
you would any other person that you love. If you saw someone using guilt on your child, on
Yep.
someone, you'd be like, okay, like I see what you're doing.
Yep.
Let's not go that route. We have
Yep.
to do the same for ourselves. Like I see
Big
what
time.
you're doing. We don't do that because you love me and we don't use guilt as a tool to get what we want when we love someone. Like that's not how we treat someone that we love. So it's just like that was like, okay. So I feel like they need to practice it. And I'm like, hopefully you'll kind of keep that conversation in your head so you can grab an opportunity to come have your back. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Yeah.
Yep.
So it's been so good.
So good.
So good. Yeah. So then after that June, I'm almost off. Huh? I'm like, qu'est-ce que je fais? J'aimerais retirer pour 2 jours, 2 mois. I'm like,
Oh
take
my gosh.
take summer off.
I'll give Josée an idea. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm off in July and August."
I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't work these months. Do you want to talk about end of August? And I'm just so grateful to anyone that trusts me enough to either give my name to someone they know or like to be like, oh, you should have her as a, because it's like it still feels surreal to me that they're like, oh, come, and that they really, I just get such good feedback. So that I'm like, okay, and that it lights me up at the same time. Like, what a
Yeah.
gift.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Okay, well, let's keep that conversation alive in your own household, you guys. And this was fun. And we'll see you
So
next
good.
week and go enjoy that sunshine and put your phone away and go live your life.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
wow. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.